Boys and girls,
Definitely.
today, welcome to the grand finale of Recipes for Success. Today we have somebody who has not only mastered the art of gastronomy, but has also embraced sustainability as a philosophy of life. Today we bring you an exclusive session with this visionary chef. In a world where contemporary cooking is increasingly focused on produce, he stands out as a true advocate of sustainable gastronomy. His dedication to sustainability has taken him to an extraordinary path, including being selected as one of the few Indians to attend India's chef classes at the prestigious World Gourmet Summit in Singapore. His association with the CNN Group, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, in Tokyo and the Michelin-plated Indus Bangkok further deepens his expertise and allowed him to incorporate international influences into his culinary creations. He is also co-founder of Street Stories in Bangalore, where he continues to champion sustainable practices while creating unforgettable dining experiences for patrons. Join us as we uncover the inspiration behind his culinary projects, the significance of sustainability in his life, and how he defines the concept of organic in the culinary world. Very warm welcome, Chef Nishant Choubey.
You are adding a lot of pressure on me.
We're so thrilled to have you. And when we do this, we send out the guest list to so many schools, and the students write to us with a list of questions. What we've done is we've compiled this list of questions, and I'm going to start shooting it at you.
Sure, please.
Perfect.
I would be happy.
Chef, to start with, your journey is very special because it is very relatable to millions of young students who today belong to small cities, where the usual traditional jobs like an engineer and a doctor or a government employee is considered the correct path. Plus, Chef, you've always mentioned that you've come from a family of academicians. Saying that,
yes.
How did your journey start, and what was the reaction of your parents when you told them that would you like to be chef? And I asked this today on a very special day because a lot of our team members, they just passed their 12, their results have come out today a few hours before, and they're all thinking about different things. Their parents want them to take up the traditional doctor engineer path. What is your message, and could you tell us this from the prism of your journey?
Sure, definitely. Thank you very much for your kind introduction, and I would love to share my culinary journey. So I am the odd man out in my family, and no one has become chef. No one has even dreamed to become a chef, because it was considered to be something very, very, not very high end, not very lucrative, or not very, respectable as well for the entire family. And as I said, I come from a family of academicians. So, my parents are teachers. We have a history of engineer, doctor, or IAS officer. So, but why I took up this challenge to be chef, because I thought it's a very, very creative line. And I used to watch Chef Sanjeev Kapoor eating so much of amazing food. So I think that was the first thing for me, that, if he can, being a chef, eat so much, then if I become a chef, then I can also eat so much. So, small thoughts, I would say. But yes, my seniors from my school, when they came and they said, Nishant, you'd be on TV, you'd be highlighted, you'd get 6-figure salary. So I think I got carried away, I think I would say like that. And then I appeared for my engineering exam, and as every family, every family in second tier city or third tier city, they always look up to their kids. They want their kids to become engineer, doctor, or I really wanted to do something very different. That was right from my class 12th, I would say, that I always wanted to do something very different. I say, okay, what is the, why everyone has to become engineer? Why everyone has to become doctor? So, but I was very confused. I was kind of looking forward to, getting ideas of how I would make a niche for myself and make my family proud of whatever I do. I really want to do something very different. So, my friend told me, and I said, "Okay, let's give it a try." It was more of a trial, and then when I got through, my parents were thoroughly surprised they never digested this, that I am becoming a chef. They said, no ways you are becoming a chef. Okay. We have no history about that. Kya khana banayega, I mean, that was like, I mean, a local, I mean, a second tier language. So it was not very good, not very receptive. But yes, I said, let me give it a try. So my parents clearly told me that this year there's only highway left in your life. There's no other choices. What if you fall out? What if you don't succeed? We have nothing else to give it to you. But I said, let me try. So I went to the school. I mean, culinary school, and I like, why I like the kitchen, because I'm telling you very frankly, that it was something that, you don't face guests, so you don't have to talk much. You are only working with your hands. So that was the first thing that, I took up kitchen. But yes, as I started working, I found that this is a very, very creative line, and whatever I have seen my mom cooking, my family cooking, I can always, make them in a very different way. And that was fun. I started enjoying that work. So I think, the key is that you have to enjoy whatever you are doing in your life to succeed. If you take it as a pressure, it's always there. I mean, it's not there. But if you enjoy what you do, then I'm sure you're going to succeed in your life. And whatever I am today, see, I'm still learning. I'm still, experimenting. I still go back to my roots, understand those culinary principles. Yes, I have done a lot of work in my life. I have cooked in over, I think, 60% part of the world already. I love traveling. I love to, believe things when I see and when I touch it. I give it a newness, keeping sustainability in mind, because that's very, very important. In fact, we have a World Environment Day as well, which is on the 5th of June. So I'm very, very keen to do something for the environment. I'm very, very keen to give it back to the society. So I think all these things actually summarizing that I'm very happy today.
And what about your family, chef? Are they also now saying that yes?
Oh, yes, yes. So my, my, my parents, sometimes when I'm covered in those local newspapers and all, okay, so they always send me picture, Nishant, your photo is there. So, that is something very, very nice to me, And, I mean, media loves me, so I keep sharing my insights with different, media. So it keeps getting published in different newspapers and print and TV and all. So they all look up to it, and now they are quite happy, actually.
And chef, you mentioned that you joined this. The first thing was when you saw Sanjeev ji eating. Do you get to do the eating, and what is actually the reality of chefs? Do they eat as much as they cook, or?
So, we get so much of flavors in the kitchen that we come back and we eat our dal roti, frankly speaking. We come back to our comfort food. That is what we eat, because we continuously keep working. There are no working hours in the kitchen. We are the first one to come, we are the last one to go. But this is how the industry is, and we taste so much that finally, when you come to eating in peaceful time, is like our comfort food. And a bowl of rice, a good curry is what is very, very happening for us. We don't want, plated. We don't want exotic. So we want something which is very, very comfortable
How
to us.
ironic!
I think
this
this
is so
applies to
ironic.
them.
The chefs who plate the most beautiful dishes want to just go home and have like the most simple, comforted food. But yeah.
I mean, that's soul. That's soul. That's soul. In fact, I just tell you, when I went to Louisiana, which is Southern America, and I was trained at John Fall's Culinary Institute. I was selected like one of the Indians to travel to Southern America and learn Creole and Cajun cuisine. So there, in the last day, it was about soul food. That was the chapter in that session. And what soul food was: rajma and chawal, chicken and chawal, mutton curry and chawal. And the lady who was teaching us, she was like so happy and so thrilled in showcasing that soul food recipe. So we relate our food with that. So we said, oh, we also eat the same thing. We also go back and eat our curry and rice, which is absolutely very staple and very satisfying, actually. It gives us happiness. So I mean, this is what it was. So it was beautiful.
Absolutely. Ghar ka khana is always ghar ka khana. But chef,
Yes, but But the irony is, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you in between. So, in fact, one of the sessions that I took in Michigan University in America, where I was called to give talk about Indian food. So when I was selected to go to Michigan and Indianapolis universities, there the students started sending me picture of biryani. So it was chawal and curry kept separately. It was called biryani. So that's the irony that, Indian food is so wide and so vivid, so different that I always say in one life you cannot learn Indian cuisine. You know, you have to literally summarize. And Indian is the most complicated cuisine, by the way. Every other thing is very easy, but Indian cuisine has more than 350 processes. Can you even ever imagine? I always say that, how do we as chef also in our lifespan, say 40 years, would be able to understand those 340, 350 processes? It is very difficult. So when I went and I showed them the right biryani, and you can imagine the kind of the increase in numbers in universities outside. You guys are also doing phenomenal work with I.I.M.U.N, that you are making sure that it is very global, and it actually brings inherent touch to everything. So food is an integral part of it. So when I saw this, I went and I especially made biryani for those students to ensure that this is what biryani. It is not that chicken curry and rice kept separately is biryani. So
That's
I
so
thought I'll
sweet.
just
That's
break
so
it down.
sweet. No, but absolutely. And because, we're speaking to students and, getting into the right colleges, it is a very common idea that you have to, in order to be a leader the industry leader, you have to come from a leading institution. As somebody who's gone through a journey of getting professional education in this field, and also having seen and trained a lot of people who've come thereafter, what are your views on, how, what is the, of getting into the right institution, or when students take so much stress when it comes to entrance tests for these institutions? And for the culinary field, is it okay to have a standardized exam for culinary arts? What are your views on the academics part of it?
So I think one should definitely enroll to academics. I mean, they should definitely go to a culinary school. Very, very important. And we look at all over the world. There are some very amazing culinary school. We have CIA in New York. We have in India we have OCLD. Then we have HOMT program with Taj. So everything it should be done in the right way. No, don't take shortcut in your life. We also have peeled onion and garlic and do clean kitchen, clean pots and pans. So I think it is right that you go with the right path. You take admission in the college, you learn the basics of cooking. All these 3 semesters or 4 semesters in the college will actually give you attitude, will also give you a lot of knowledge that you cannot understand in industry. When you come to industry, it's real time. Then you are serving to the guest. You can't be very can't study when you are in the service industry, or when you are doing service to your customer. So you have the right time. When you take admission in the college, you should go through all those rigorous things. After college you have to go and understand every bit of kitchen work. When you are finally zeroing down to one department that you like to enjoy, because there are 4 departments in college. So whatever you want to choose, you have to go and showcase. So it is very important that when you are in the college, you should take the right decision. You should not get carried away. You should not say that, okay, I like kitchen, but I want to do service. Don't do like this. You have to zero down to something which interests you a lot, and make your own role model. Very, very important that one should definitely follow a role model, that what do you want to be, what do you want to be in your life, what do you want to enjoy, what do you want to learn after 3 years. I think 3 years is not enough time for you to understand every algorithm of kitchen or any department. So it is very important. It is very wiseful to think right. And there are different avenues. It is not only, I mean, there are 26 premier culinary institutes in India right now. And there are other, food crafts institutes as well, which teaches you only culinary. So depending upon you, what you want to do, so take the right decision and then follow your path.
No, absolutely. And it's so important to get that theory right, the facts right, before you're actually going and practicing them. I'm sure that makes a huge difference.
Yes. Yes.
But Chef, now shifting to something which we also practice at I.I.M.U.N. It as a practice in the past 12 years, we've always been serving vegetarian food, and we do conferences in countries where Indians are not usually, very comprehensively present, be it Japan, Uruguay, Peru, these places. And yet we've managed to serve them vegetarian food. And you yourself, Chef, are the founder of leading vegetarian restaurant in Bangkok. What are your thoughts on the current shift towards vegetarianism and veganism? And are people making this shift scientifically or just following the trend? And what is the future according to you?
So, post-COVID, I have seen a lot of paradigm shift towards vegetarian cuisine. And I can see, people eating vegetarian a lot. And if you look at our population as well, if you look at pertaining in India, we have Jain community, we have, Sattvic community, we have, other communities who really predominantly, and they are the one who spends a lot. Okay. So they would only like to go to a place which is completely vegetarian, where you don't even entertain egg. It is as simple as that. So if you look at street stories, the one that I have done, and then I had just recently did a fantastic cookout at Sattvic, which is at Select City Walk, and both we were hammered. Frankly speaking, we were hammered with the kind of guests that we saw, the numbers that we have done doesn't match to any mathematics. Okay, it doesn't match. No one can assume that kind of sales one can generate. There is a lot of shift because of the health. Vegetarian is connected to health. Vegetarian, why vegan? Because there are a lot of people who really don't want to, they don't want to take animal protein or animal dairy because of religious thing as well, also because of atrocities which an animal, because our demand is high, but our supply is less. So if you look at, videos and all, it is very sad to see how they take out milk. So, we don't have enough, and the population is continuously rising. So we don't have enough supply of that. That is why also I see a lot of people towards vegan. And it's a great, so that's what now you'll see mandate in the restaurants in India also and outside India, that people have to have vegan choices or gluten-free or of course dairy-free or sugar-free. All these things are very lifestyle also. I can see, health is one thing which is connected to everything. And as a chef, it's very exciting because vegetarian ingredients are key to a recipe. So it doesn't become, it is, if you look at non-vegetarian food, we have only chicken, mutton, egg, or pork. So, of course, in India, we sell very less of pork and beef. So, but in vegetarian ingredients are unlimited. Wherever I go, I see a new ingredient to work with. And if I know how to cook non-vegetarian, it is very easy for me to shift and make it vegetarian, because we just need to replace those protein, make a vegetarian product out of it. So even kathal has become kathal biryani, even kathal has become kathal rava josh or kathal nihari. All these things were completely non-vegetarian. So what I have done is I have taken inspiration and I have made them all vegetarian, and people are loving it. We have a turmeric ice cream, then we have, we have a bao which has got, mushroom stuffed inside. So, all these dishes were always non-vegetarian, but somehow with due technique, we have converted them into vegetarian, and that was absolutely super. People loved it. So you can showcase more flair, you can showcase more angle, you can showcase, more variety when it comes to vegetarian food. So I think that's why I can see people shifting, and still it's not boring. It's definitely not boring. It's very, very, it's quite nice. And it is not that healthy food can't be tasty. It is a myth. Healthy food can be tasty. It's not that vegetarian food can be boring. It can be very, very nice. It can be also, general, what I have seen is vegetarians have better taste buds than non-vegetarian. they can eat much more because their palate has seen, has eaten, I mean, with different kind of things in their mouth. While non-vegetarians are very, they know their mutton, chicken, fish, so they are adhering to that. But vegetarians' taste bud is more evolved. They welcome more flavors. So it's exciting for both for a chef and also for the guests to come together and entertain this
And it's
vegetarian.
not just a trend, it's here to stay, especially with chefs like you being able to cater to the need. I'm sure it's just going to, the demand for.
Yeah, it comes all by experience. You go there, you see, you improvise, you get some freedom as well to do it. So it's
Absolutely.
quite nice. That is why I became chef.
Chef, you spoke about turmeric ice cream, and that is where my next question comes. It's
Yeah.
in today's time we love sushi also, and we have a love for dal chawal also. Uh, what is your idea of food when it comes to these fusions, like gulab jamun, cheesecake, and pav bhaji fondue? Because in this series you've spoken to a lot of guests, and people have like chefs have like two very extreme views. Either chefs are like, food has to be authentic, it has to be traditional, don't mix it, or they are like, it is about the people you're serving. You have to make sure that you're giving them a good experience. So there's no harm in these fusions. What are your views?
So see, there are two sides of it. Food is very subjective, first and foremost. What is exciting for you, it might not be exciting for me. It is very different. So, what is salty for someone is not salty for others. So we have to, of course, balance it out. But believe me, whoever wants to step into fusion is total confusion, first and foremost. You know, Mutton rogan josh cannot be served with a spaghetti. That's complete no-no. So, but there might be a little progression, little interesting things, be it presentation of the food, be it adding a flavor, be it adding a spice, but it should all come together. Definitely, it should all come together. And for that, you have to have experience. In fact, there was an article just published, I think, some time back, where someone made biryani samosa. Okay. So, so I was like, okay. So they wanted my view on this. I said, see, first of all, basic always has to, you have to first make samosa right and then biryani right. Then you club together and then you eat by it yourself. You see if it is working out. If it is working out, you please serve it to the guest. So it is very different. It is difficult. Okay, but of course I also do a lot of progression. So why I say turmeric, because turmeric is gives very amazing flavor. Okay, to the ice cream, and also to the quantity that it doesn't add a lot of bitterness. I had my turmeric latte in Canada. Okay, at Starbucks. So it was quite
Turmeric
nice.
latte is
But I said
haldi
haldi
wala
wala
doodh.
doodh
Our
to
moms have been giving it. Yeah.
yes, exactly. I said, haldi wala doodh to hamare bhi aaye hain. So why we have to, go to Starbucks and have it? So see, everything should be logical, first and foremost. You just cannot experiment something which you don't even agree to it. Just for the sake of experimenting, don't do it. But yes, you experimented, you saw, you put together, you ate by yourself, you ate with your team. They all said, wow, what a dish. So now shoot it. It's fine. Then it's all right. I do a lot of seven. I'm in Ghana right now, Accra, and we are opening up a very, very fabulous, restaurant here called Ilona, and where we are doing very different stuff, but everything is done 20 times, to understand whether it is right or wrong. So it's a continuous process, and it takes time. From a student point of view, you are learning, and then you don't say that I'm gonna make samosa biryani tomorrow. Don't do that. Just rehearse, practice. You know how Bollywood thing is. You practice, and then you finally give it your final take. So it is how it is. It should all fall in. And I am a chef who is very experimental. Believe me, I am very experimental. But I have got almost 20 years of experience. I've seen, I have traveled. Finally, I say that I want to work on my own cuisine. So I want to make it interesting also. I want to make it niche also. I want to also give it my signature. Every person who is watching us, please ensure that you take inspiration from YouTube, from Google, from Instagram. But you should always make your thing in that. Please add your flavors. Please add your soul to it. Please add your skill to it. Just don't copy paste it. What I'm saying right now, maybe tomorrow you can work out something and you can tag us saying that, oh, I have done this. So it should be like this, and it's quite nice. It's very nice. I love experimental, but it should be within boundaries. Fusion is a total confusion. Let it be very, very interesting. Let it be logical. Food is very subjective. It might be no for someone. It can be yes to someone else. So you have to keep your patience. Keep reading. Keep going back to books. Keep going back to your teachers, your ancestors, whoever you have taught. Take your region. Say I'm coming from Jharkhand, a very, very small town, and we have
I am
rich in
from
tribal
Ranchi.
cuisine. I want to understand more about it.
Yeah,
Oh, you're from
yeah,
Ranchi, so
yeah.
I'm from Bukar. So, to know how rich we are, what is in tribal cuisine. And we have chili chutney also, we
Litti.
have kukdi, and we have putkas, we have litti. I mean, litti is very north, but if you look at south of Jharkhand, so there are a lot of things which are very ethnic to Jharkhand. So let's work on that. It will give us more confidence. Important is that you should be confident on what you are doing. Very, very important. And in India, every state has got their own repertoire, has got their own cuisine, has got their own history. In fact, I would just like to name my guru, who is Dr. Pushpesh Panji. So he's a legendary, he's a food historian, he's a Padma Shri awardee. He taught food in JNU for over 25 years. He has written more than 20, I think 200 books in food. So I always go back to sir. I think, sir, ye aaya hai mere paas. What do I do? So we have done so much of, in fact, when you're talking about vegan food, I cooked at Adani's house. We did completely Jain. No, Jain, completely Jain. And it was so fascinating to know that, Mahavir ji ke jahan Pachin hai, wahan ka khana hum logon ne kiya tha. So from Bihar to Karnataka to Orissa, wherever the temples are, we picked up interesting aspect of it and given my avatar. Of course, it is, I am cooking, so I would have definitely give it my way. So it was quite fascinating to work.
Basically, bringing your own soul to every dish that you create, your own uniqueness. So, I mean, that is
Where,
such an art, and it's so wonderful.
even if you look at food of India, temple food of India is still, it is very consistent. It is being made consistently over, I don't know, 1,000 years or maybe 5,000 years. Our civilization is 5,000 years old, which is our Indus Valley civilization. So how consistently they are doing. We have not done too much to research on our temple food. I think I'm going to go, that's my next research, that I'm really going to go in temples and see how they make it and learn. And how prasad is non-vegetarian also in India. If you go towards east, they give you meat as prasad. So it is something that is still not researched so much. So I'm going to do some research and come out with
And
some
we
thoughts.
keep an eye on that research so we can read and learn from that.
Sure.
But Chef, you've traveled nationally and internationally so much. After traveling, I'm sure it gives a lot of experience. What is your perspective on how Indian food is perceived? Has it changed from when you started to now? I'm sure there was a time when Indian food, the first thing that comes to mind is butter chicken, naan. Bas ho gaya. Has it changed? Has it evolved over the years? Have people started seeing that there's like really something beyond just butter chicken and naan?
So very good question. Actually, I think we all amazing question, and I would love to answer this. So let's not combine India with butter chicken and dal makhani. Let's all of us understand that it's a beautiful country. It's not like America where you have burger and burger and burger and burger. All over you find burger and sandwiches and thick fries all over. Okay, with due respect. Our country has a lot of things. Dosa is not connected to samosa. It's completely different process. So let's not summarize India in 2 or 3 dishes. Okay. Of course, I love to have my butter chicken and dal. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think it's the time we should move on. It's the time we should move on apart from Northwest frontier cuisine to Southern India, to Western India, to East India. We have so much to see. I'll just give you a small example. I was in a channel and there was a debate on, some reputed chef. He came from abroad and he said that Indian food is odorless, Indian food is flavorless, Indian food is very oily, Indian food is spicy. I said, first and foremost, not all Indian food is not spicy, because not all spices are spicy. It is not only about chili. We are, part of spice route of the world, from Pakistan to going towards Southeast Asia. So we have cardamom, we have cinnamon, we have star anise, we have, all these spices. That also gives, say turmeric is a spice in our country, but it doesn't mean that it is making it spicy. It is giving, now turmeric is the thing which has come into our life because of COVID, and it is giving a lot of immunity. It has got anti-inflammatory, effect in the body. So I was the chef who said, no, it is not, because we cannot summarize our food with only northwest. If you look at dosa, it is made fresh. You cannot make dosa and keep it, right? You cannot make dhokla and keep it. Dhokla has to be steamed, and then it has nice and yellow color. So I gave lot of example. But yes, we should. It's high time. We should all understand that it is very important for us as a chef and for you all as an individual to to convey to the society, say that India is pan-India. It is not only India. It is not only Punjab and northwest frontier cuisine. It is beyond that. Assam, if you go towards northeast, you see steaming as the process of cooking, which is very, very healthy. So they don't fry. They hardly fry. They either poach, boil. They use fabulous greens, some amazing mushroom. In fact, avocados are coming from Assam and from northeast states. I'm getting some fabulous avocados. In fact, Bangalore is supplying very amazing avocados. So which was called makhan phal or butterfruit. So it is super amazing to understand India on a pan India level, not only as a
So being
northwest.
aware and making sure that the globe is aware that India is much beyond land. And as people, as the next generation, I think it's our responsibility as well to make sure that we first get ourselves aware of it.
Correct.
Correct. But Chef, we've kept the most
Absolutely.
interesting question for the last because we know it's your favorite also, on sustainability. Today the world has a long list of problems. Why is it important to have a sustainable kitchen? And our viewers today, many of them who, you start cooking, they shift to hostels now, and also just generally, how can we make our home kitchens more sustainable?
So see, I mean, it all starts from home. If you look at our kitchen also, it's we should treat our kitchen as home, where we don't throw anything. See, sustainability is nothing new to us. We were always sustainable. If you look at, as I said before, if you look at our Indus Valley civilization, we were eating whole, whatever produce that we were getting, we're not throwing it. If you look at millets, which is the topic, and this year is declared as the year of millets by UN. So we were always eating millets. It was always there. We were always sustainable. Just that in between, we lost track. Okay. We went to our cold storage, we went and started eating things which are not seasonal. Okay. We started adopting processes which were not right, just to make our life more simple. So it all starts from our kitchen. Whatever we are treating we don't throw. My mother doesn't throw anything. So why we have to throw things in our experimental kitchen or in our industrial kitchen? Why we can't treat it as our home? So if we start, why we should always switch off our gas when it is not. We should always stop tap when there's no water. I mean, we don't require water. Switch it off. That's it. We don't need electricity. Switch it off. Let's make our earth. Let's live with our earth, which has given us everything. So I think the time is that we should adopt to the best of our thing. And also, it is very important to eat mindful. We have to shop artisanal and also spread awareness. It is not important. It is not that I do it and then someone else is not doing it. We should all come together and get on with this amazing thing. Every country is getting sustainable now. In fact, in Bangkok, there's a place where they sell local vegetables, and it is a mandate by the government to use it in the menu. So they have gone to that part. They have made a rule where you have to buy those produce and you have to make dishes out of it. And now those dishes are getting sold out first in the restaurant because everyone knows that's very, very fresh. So it's very simple. You have to eat seasonal, you have to eat local, you have to work with what you have. Don't think of things coming from outside. Work with whatever you have. Make that as a gourmet. Have that pride. It's important that we should have pride. Why don't I have a pride on my curry or on my rice or on my samosa or on my bun muska? Why should not I be proud of that? So finally, what you create should be something which you have worked hard, which you have only worked under easy circumstances, and make sure that you give it to people. So I think this is very simple, and we should not complicate
Basically, going back to our roots, doing what we were always doing.
Yes, this is nothing new to us.
Absolutely, Chef. That was an amazing answer. Just like all your answers. But we've kept our favorite part towards the end, which is a rapid fire. Where we give you one word and you tell us a word that comes to your mind, a phrase that comes to your mind when I say it. My favorite, the first word is your favorite cuisine. What comes to your mind when I say
that? Indian cuisine. But if you ask my favorite food or favorite cuisine is the Mangalorean cuisine that I love.
Bokaro, your hometown.
Oh, it's peace, laid back, also intelligence.
Same answer for Ranchi. The second word is comfort food.
Fish curry and rice is what I love to eat. Even breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper. Even if it is in the fridge, I straight away don't need to heat it up and then eat it. It's much better.
Favorite ingredient to work with?
Favorite ingredient to work with? I think jackfruit is now my favorite, but it keeps changing.
Favorite place for a vacation?
Nainital and also Munnar in Kerala.
India. When I say India, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Right.
Youth.
Right. Decision maker.
Such great answers, Chef. Very grateful that you could do this, and more grateful that you were the concluding episode of our 10-episode series that took place. Perfect example that you can dream big, irrespective where you come from, what background you come from. So thank you, and it was very, very